Uzi, you ain't Cardi, show not me. Never on the scene, what you mean? Y'all I mean.
What is good, y'all? It's Trails here, coming back with another video. Today I'm going to be reacting to 2 McDonald's horror stories animated. If y'all are new, subscribe, turn on post notifications, backslap the like button, and no time to waste. I'm about to start in 3, 2, 1. There we go.
I'm not sure if this is the creepiest or the most disgusting thing to ever happen to me, but here it is. I'm a 17-year-old female, and this happened about 3 months ago. Me and my friends always like to go to McDonald's after we had a good yoga session. You could call us regulars. We probably did yoga together 2 or 3 times a week, and it wasn't
That's
class
not even
or anything.
how you do yoga.
It was just me
just
and
going
3
like
of my
this.
friends. We had another friend, Olivia, who occasionally joined us, but she was kind of flaky. If she didn't feel like doing yoga that day, we just went ahead and did it without her. We had been in this routine for a couple of weeks at this point, and we always looked forward to getting some nice junk food. There was something about McDonald's that was like the guilty pleasure of my entire existence. I normally didn't get it otherwise, but I really looked forward to the couple of occasions that me and my friends went there. But this one experience was horrible. I had been there enough that I started to recognize the people that worked there. I never had conversations with them, but I knew their faces well enough to spot when someone new was in the back working. That's exactly what happened this one Wednesday afternoon.
Not at all.
I noticed this guy with really thin hair.
Why are you
He had a
staring
really
at
creepy
me?
face, and I'm not sure how to describe it exactly.
Bro,
His eyes were
take my,
humongous.
bro, you're still staring
They
at me
looked
for
like
what?
the eyes of a bug. And then he had this really strange body language that always kind of freaked me out. It was like jumpy or something. If he was deep frying French fries, for example, he would stand perfectly still for a second, and then really quickly submerge them in one motion, and it would splash grease all over.
Put it in the washer.
This was very unusual, considering I had seen enough people put down fries that there was an easier way he could have done that. He didn't have to splash it like that. I was watching him one day, and we made eye contact. It was really unusual, too, because I was looking at him as my mom's credit card was processing to pay for my meal. He had his back turned toward me. I was trying to figure out if I knew who he was, and then he just spun around to look at me. And it was all in one motion.
Don't look at me. Don't stop.
Really
Don't look
freaky.
at me, bro. Don't look at me.
So I started
Stop.
noticing him more and more. He was always working whenever my friends and I got finished with our yoga.
I did not like the way you looked at me, bro.
It didn't bother me too much. My friends also noticed how weird he was and told me about similar experiences. It wasn't creepy enough that we stopped going or anything, but it was certainly enough to notice.
I would have stopped.
I remember the day in particular. It was a weekend because I didn't have school that day. Me and my friends had just finished a really good yoga session, and we headed over to McDonald's. Anyway, my friends and I ordered our food, and we're waiting for a few minutes. It took a little bit longer than usual, which isn't really an issue because we're not impatient or anything. But here was the weird part. They weren't busy. We were basically the only people in there waiting for food, and I think they had one other person who had already ordered who was sitting down and already eating. I didn't see any cars in the drive-thru, and I just found the whole situation extremely bizarre. I had noticed that the creepy guy was working, but I didn't see him for a very long time. He went behind a wall that I couldn't see him around, and I wasn't sure why he did this either. Life went on, and we got our food and sat down. I normally start by eating my fries and then have whatever my main meal is after that.
Not a whole lot of McDonald's.
Today it happens to be
I
chicken
want some
nuggets.
fries.
I got a 10-piece. As I was eating, I felt that creepy guy's watchful eyes looming over us. I felt really freaked out, and I convinced my friends to take our meal into the car to leave. As we left, I looked back to see him frowning at me.
I would have dipped the whole.
I didn't stop walking. Well, we got out there, and for a few minutes I felt like I was being paranoid and I overreacted. My friends thought so too.
That's exactly how he's looking,
until I looked at my chicken nuggets. I looked inside of the box they were in,
Oh no!
they seemed to be covered in some kind of weird substance.
Stop! No!
I couldn't quite make it out, and
don't
I
show
didn't
me.
know
Please
what to
don't show
think.
me. I don't want to
My
see
immediate reaction was that they had put mayonnaise on it or something.
Oh!
Thankfully, I was smart enough to ask my friends before I took a bite.
No!
My one friend screamed.
Not the
freak
mayonnaise.
jizzed on your nuggets. The more I analyzed this strange substance on my chicken nuggets, the more convinced I became that it really was, in fact, that.
No.
That certainly explains why it had taken so long for us to get our food.
What?
I didn't quite understand how he was able to pull it off, though.
Goodness
He was one of at
gracious.
least 5 other workers there. It's not like they would have just allowed him to do this, right?
He probably...
Whatever the case may have been, I didn't feel comfortable eating
away.
those chicken nuggets, and
You're gonna make me
I threw them
throw
out
bro.
without
Throw that away. I don't
hesitation.
want to see it no more.
My
Get
friends
out of
and
my
I
sight.
were all really freaked out that this had happened to us. My friends threw out the rest of their food just to be on the safe
throw away
side.
the whole thing. Go eat
We
at
weren't
Chick-fil-A
really
or something.
sure if
McDonald's be
we
weird.
should have reported this incident to the police or something.
What they're
We
gonna
didn't
do?
know what to
Please
do.
never do nothing.
We just kind of laughed it off as being one of those crazy life experiences, and that was it. I haven't gone back to McDonald's since this whole experience. But yeah,
Never would.
that's the story of how I ordered chicken nuggets one time, and the freaky guy working there put his secret sauce on.
Secret sauce, bro. They really
On
put
it.
the secret sauce. Y'all don't want to know what the secret
Okay.
sauce is, bro.
I don't think you guys are even going to believe this story, but it's 100% true. Just
I know
happened
you're
last
lying.
week. I don't know how else I could even preface this dumpster fire of a story, but here it goes. I'm a 22-year-old male and I live with my fiancée. We had a nice apartment,
Why
but
is his shirt
we were
like
really
that?
looking
Like
to buy
the
a
sleeves
house.
are cut off.
I know, a little young for that, but we both landed really nice jobs after college and figured that it's better to get it out of the way now and start settling down. We're kind of old-fashioned like that. My fiancé's grandmother owns a home and no one lives in it. She had it for about a year since a family relative passed away. No one wanted anything to do with it since there was a lot of work that needed to be done, like painting the walls and redoing the floors and just various tasks like that.
Why are they showing me the outside
It
of the
wasn't
home?
completely horrible inside.
Okay, there we go.
But there was enough work that it literally sat there for a good little while. Well, my fiancé and I started talking to her grandmother after buying the place. She told us that she would sell it to us
That is
for a
one
low
small
enough
house.
price
He's as
that we
tall
would
as
be
the
able to
ceiling.
afford all of
That
the
house gotta be
renovations and
small.
whatnot.
Look how tall he is compared to the
We
ceiling.
were really excited about it. It was
No,
really
matter of fact,
exciting
both of
to
them, that's a
think we were
small
going to have
house.
purchased our first home together so shortly after graduating from college. But here was the problem. She had a lot of
Bro,
people in her
you're gonna
family
smell
who
like
started
this.
feeling left out. It was my
That's how they smell. They
fiance's
smell like
aunt and her
this.
2 sons. Their father had died shortly after the second son was born, and
That man,
the mother
the
had a
gray
hard
shirt
time
built
coping with
weird,
everything.
bro. How
She
is
was
his
a regular
legs skinny,
drinker and
but
arguably
his
an
whole
alcoholic.
upper body is
My fiancé
like
told
a
me that they were
round
extremely
circle
negative
shape.
people, and after meeting
That
them a
really-
few
that
times
literally
at
don't
family
make sense.
functions, I was surprised at how right she was. They lived in government housing. She collected disability fraudulently, and
Bro,
her
I
2
can't
sons
stop
didn't work, despite
Bro.
one being 24 and the other being
I
19.
can't take him seriously.
There were whispers of drug abuse in there too. Suffice to know that these were not the kind of people you wanted to associate with. When word got out that we were buying the house from her grandma, they started feeling really left out. There were a few occasions where they'd try offering to watch the house, very obviously
The
an
dude
attempt to
really
get in
sure
there
is
and do
staring
God
pretty
only
hard.
knows what.
He hasn't blinked at
We
all.
politely declined and
Like,
did
he's
everything we
he's
could
just
to
staring
avoid
like
them.
this. He hasn't blinked.
I
one
happened to
bit.
be at the house one day. My fiancé was working and I work remotely online, so I was home alone. I
That's
had just walked down the
nice.
street to buy a
Working
lemonade
online.
when I saw someone at her house. It was extremely unexpected. I got ready to confront a potential burglar when I noticed it was my fiancé's cousin trying to break in. He was startled when he saw me and froze for a minute. I asked him what he was doing, and he told me something about thinking he saw a car he didn't recognize in the driveway.
Oh,
I explained that it was my
sure.
car, and he left without any big confrontation. As he walked away, though, I heard him start cursing under his breath.
Aw.
This was the point when I started feeling like we had something to worry about. Not feeling unsafe
maybe y'all
inside
got
your own
beef.
home is the
Secret
worst
beef?
feeling
Question
ever,
mark. Do y'all got
especially
secret
being
beef?
2 young recent college graduates. We both worked really hard to make this happen, and the idea that it made us feel unsafe there really bothered us. I still didn't even understand what they wanted out of the whole ordeal. They didn't have enough money to afford the property tax alone. Forget about utilities and anything else. About 2 weeks went by without any kind of confrontation. I had falsely
And then my
convinced
big ass, he
myself
came
that
right back.
they'd
He
finally
came
leave us
right
alone.
back.
I was dead wrong. We went to McDonald's one day, exactly 1 week ago today.
No.
The
Please
day
don't
I'm
tell me
writing
it's the
this.
same worker.
Me and my fiance
Don't
both
order the
just wanted to
chicken
be out of
nuggets,
the
bro,
house
'cause
for a
they
little
got
while.
they got that
Considering we
weird
were in the
secret
process
sauce,
of
bro.
buying a house, we didn't want to go eat anywhere expensive, so McDonald's just seemed like a logical decision. Now, before I continue, I feel the need to explain something about my fiance and I. We are normally very serious people. We work very
Okay.
hard and we're both kind of workaholics, but when we
Okay,
get
okay.
together to have some fun, we go hard. Work hard, play hard, right? Well, we got kind of silly when we played. Let me cut to the chase.
I thought
We
you
were
was gonna
both
say
playing in the
something
ball
weird,
pits
bro.
at our local McDonald's. We always enjoyed goofing off like that, and we weren't too concerned with what people would think of us. We'd only been
Yeah, I
messing
mean, as long
around
as
for
it's not
5
too
minutes
weird.
when her cousin
As
showed
long
up
as
at
it's not
McDonald's
weird,
too.
you're straight.
It was creepy. He walked right in, looked at us the entire time. Before he even opened the front door, his eyes were stuck on us, and they felt
Bro,
heavy.
I'm saying, bro, he keeps
My
staring. But look
fiance
how tiny his
immediately knew
pupils are.
something
He
was
keeps
wrong when my
staring. He
facial
doesn't
expression
blink.
changed, and she darted around to see what I was looking at. We both
Bro, he
watched
looks
as her
so
cousin
worried, like he's
made his
about to
way
get beat up
out
or
to the
something.
ball pit. He stepped outside. As he walked, he moved his body to grab something out of his pocket.
Man, can you
I couldn't see what it
staring?
was, but my first thought was a gun or a knife. The look in his eyes told me he was out to do serious harm.
I would
He
think
jumped
the
into the
same
ball
thing.
pit in my direction.
Oh
I
no.
luckily landed one solid punch in his
Yes,
face
sir.
as he came
Yes.
down. It
Yes,
threw
you
him
gotta
off.
pow.
I had an advantage. He kicked me in the stomach, but I landed a few more
Ooh.
punches on his face.
Okay. Okay.
He started screaming for me to stop
Yes.
and that I was killing him. I would have
What?
kept going if my fiancée hadn't been watching. He started this, not me. We got out of the
Yeah,
ball
he
pit.
did.
He then began telling us that he was going to press charges on me for assaulting him. I wasn't even fazed by this. There were plenty of witnesses there that had seen the whole thing transpire. I started telling him that I was calling the cops and I was going to press charges on him.
Ooh.
He got really panicked
Tell
and
him.
ran back to his car and drove off.
You're not pressing no
I'm not
charges
going to
now.
lie to you. This whole thing really shook me up. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to do. I looked around online and found an easy solution. A restraining order. My fiancée and I had both gotten restraining orders on her aunt and her two cousins. I didn't know why we didn't think of this sooner. It really solved the issue, and once they understood that we had a restraining order against them, they
I
buggered
would have
right
put in a
off.
restraining order,
I
no
haven't
second
seen
thought. I would
or
have done it
heard
so
from them
quick.
since.
I'm trying to have the
Thankfully,
weirdo stare at me for like 20
hopefully,
seconds.
That's the end of my story.
Ooh, that was a long one. If y'all enjoyed the reaction, subscribe right now, turn on post notifications, and backslap the like button, and I am out. Peace.
Hey, can I bother? Can we Thomas the trainer? I think I can. Pull up and water me like I'm dead in revenge. My the big on face so you can say him.